Shifting gears now and referencing something that Alex just brought up in that interview is the polls. CBS News put a major poll into the field about President Biden and how voters are reacting to his age. And shocker, it is not great. Let's put this up there on the screen. Does Biden have the mental and cognitive health to serve as president? This is cognitive registered voters. Does 27% for Biden. Trump, 50%. Does not, 72% for Biden, 49% for Trump. So basically half for Trump, vast majority for people, more than almost 3/4 saying that Biden does not have the cognitive health. I'd really like to meet those 27%. I always forget about the number of old people in this country. Let's go to the next part, please. We can put that one up on the screen. At the debate, which candidate, quote, presented ideas clearly? 21% Biden, 47% Trump. Appeared presidential, 28% Biden, 46% Trump. Inspired confidence, 18% Biden, 44% Trump. Explained plans and policies, 35% Biden, 43% Trump. My biggest takeaway from this one, guys, is Trump is not exactly hitting, majorities or even home runs here. He's just doing basic singles and doubles for the people who already support him. It's just that Biden did so poorly that Trump looks like a Grand Slam champion in comparison. Let's go to the next part here. This is honestly the craziest one. Should Biden be running for president? Should is 28%. It was 37% in February of 2024, not that long ago. Should not, 63% in February, now at a full-on 72%. So the vast majority of people saying, no, he should not be running here. Only a quarter of Americans even believe that he should. Let's continue down the line. Should Biden be running for president? This is amongst Democrats. Should, currently 54%. So still, slight majority, but you've got a full 46 who say that he should not. And previously, it was 2/3 of Democrats in February who said he should, and only 36% who said that he should not. So when we combine all of this stuff together, we really just see how much of a disaster this entire thing is. And then finally, let's go to the next part. Why shouldn't Biden be running for president? And the number one answer amongst people who say that he shouldn't is his age. 86%. His age. 71% say decisions he might make in office, 66% his record as president, and hit 59% in his ability to campaign effectively. I mean, if we put all of that stuff together, what we really see here is that this is the single most defining issue for Americans for Joe Biden. It's not about the policies. It's not about anything else. It actually reminds me, and I talked a little bit about this before, the debate. Ahead of the 1984 election, there was a similar conversation in this country. Is the 60-something-year-old Ronald Reagan too old to be elected president? And there was a famous moment. Roger Ailes, the eventual chairman of Fox News, who was an advisor to Reagan, really just brings it to brass tacks. And he's like, Mr. President, the American people just want to know one thing. Are you too damn old or not to be running for president? And Reagan understood that so clearly going in. He said, I just need to be cool and breezy, the reason that people elected me in 1980, but I've got to address this age thing in a fun and a playful way. And he has that moment where he says, I will not use my opponent's youth and inexperience against him. It was great because it showed that he was up to it. He's got the cognitive ability to handle the job. He's funny. He even makes Walter Mondale laugh and the moderator themselves. And boom, basically the conversation was over for the American people and for the debate and for the media. Biden had a very similar mandate coming into this. That was it. The only single question, is he vital enough to handle it? And I would say, if you look back at our predictions ahead of the time, there was decent enough evidence that at the big moments, he mostly comes to play. What we now find out, though, is that because those are so scripted and so managed, is that the disparity between the scripted Biden and any level of uncertainty or chaos has reduced him to a husk of his former self. And that's what the American people really saw on debate night, which is shocking and crazy because that means that that's what it's like, let's say in the middle of a crisis. Let's say not between the hours of 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Let's say exactly how and what it is like to be president and have the hardest job in the entire world. It also validates the single biggest criticism and concern about the Biden presidency. Age. Almost 2 years now Vast majority of Americans say, I think he is too old to be president. Even in the scripted, the off-the-cuff moments, there have been enough clips that have emerged that people go, I don't know how I feel about this one. You saw it in some of those press conferences, the Afghanistan press conference, for example. You see in a few of these weird moments that happen to be caught. The G7 is just enough few reporting anecdotes that are out there about how he's not really all the way with it behind the scenes, and then it just bursts out to become, I think, the most defining image of the man. It will endure for all time. He could come out and like knock out Donald Trump, take a full course of TRT or whatever, and he still, I think, would be defined by that presidential debate because it was a concern that so many people had for so long. And it's very rare, honestly, in this business for somebody to deliver just such a horrible and horrific, a horrific presentation. Most people don't rise to this level and really be that bad. It's actually pretty tough, as the White House has shown, to actually cover up things to this extent. And it was a perfect storm. It was the media offering excuse after excuse. It was lesser of two evils argument. It was a White House staff. And also Trump sucking a lot of the oxygen out of the room. I would say this is actually one of the first times in a long time that Trump is not the first main story in this country. And that's part of the reason, too, that this is very much to Biden's detriment. So as Alex alluded to in our polling in our previous segment, we'll see. We got to wait and actually watch what happens with some of these polls. July 4 is going to shake some of that up. But I predict, with the media coverage of this, with what everybody saw, it is just going to be annihilation. Already, actually, there's a piece of reporting, probably talk a little bit more about this tomorrow. Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, called up Jen O'Malley Dillon, the campaign manager for Biden, and said, Michigan is gone. After the Biden debate performance and a lot of this Gaza outrage, it's over in the state of Michigan. Recall, that was a state that Trump won in 2016, critical to his election, also critical to the so-called blue wall hypothesis. And if you include Georgia, Arizona, Nevada there in the Trump column, I think that is all pretty clear. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.